So, lucky, everybody is still in there. Okay, maybe not everybody, so... Thorn and Dawn went hunting again, see if there's any sort of wild animals outside of the town. Olga she's been in the pub and she's just been kind of in the corner with Drake and just kind of rocking back and forth and just trying to, that last battle shook her because she fought things that she just never fought before. She fought constructs, people who could harm her, just a bunch of things she's not used to. So she was a little shaken. It'll take some time for her to recover mentally. From being a very tough person to fighting a real battle, a battle where she's not the dominant one. Versus foes with technology, so...
okay. Hey, barkeep.
Okay. It's like, yes. So...
Got any food in here right now?
It's like, yes, we do. So...
Can you send it over to me when it's ready?
Okay, so... It's like, yes, sure. So...
Thank you. Yeah, are you okay?
Okay, so... Like, she's not even... She doesn't even realize you're talking. She's, like, looking at Drake, just nursing his wounds. Kind of rocking a little bit back and forth. Almost imperceptibly, it's very hard to actually tell if she's doing it or not, if she's even moving. But her attention is fixated on, I guess, cleaning up the wound and getting it stitched up.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
So while she's got a needle and thread and she's doing it, and she's sealing the wound, you move a hand over and you cast it. So you move over and cast Cure Wounds, and like she's almost shocked that like she's working on it, and then next thing you know, the wounds just start magically closing. And it's like she looks up and it's like, well, thanks. But and like she's quickly removing all the stitches and the needle.
Any fellow creatures in need is welcome to receive help from me.
Yeah, so it's like I'm still getting used to that,
That was a really powerful heal, by the way.
What?
That was a really powerful heal, by the way.
Yeah, it was. That's why his wounds closed almost immediately. So, and like Drake he kind of leaps up off the table. I mean, like when once he was like splayed leg, just kind of lying there in pain. Now he's just on all fours and he's looking at Olga with like a questioning look, wondering why she's so sad. And she just picks her up. She picks him up and just puts her back on her shoulder.
I'm gonna scratch him behind the ear.
Okay, so which he does enjoy because he's a dog. So it's like she's at a loss for words. She doesn't know what she's appreciating that he's alive, but she doesn't know how to express gratitude. Like she doesn't know what to say at this moment. I mean,
I do not expect gratitude. I just want to see things.
Okay, so that's what you say, and it's like that's good because I wouldn't even know where to begin. Just gratitude's not really something I know.
I'm just gonna give her a hug.
So,
get my food.
Okay, so, well, hold up, rewind, do Constitution, because like.
She got some electricity still.
No, not that. Okay, so, like when you go for a hug, she latches on and she just breaks down. So what do you do in that moment? Because you roll a kind of save, you can actually like not have her break down on you.
I'm gonna rub her back.
Okay, so yeah, she pretty much just breaks down and like just a bunch of self-loathing comes out. Like I should have done something. I should have been there. I shouldn't have been knocked out. Just all the things she could have done right in the battle.
You can't figure out what's right until it's happened. It's all a part of the cycle.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean, like, and I guess this is the first time she's had like this level of hardship because remember, she's a hunter. She's been out in the wilds, and the things she's been hunting, like she knows when to run and when not to. But when she's forced to fight a battle that she almost can't win, now she knows what'll happen if she does that. So she's definitely going to learn from this.
As long as you have allies.
Okay, so
And if you have me,
yeah, so
you're gonna have some way of winning.
okay, so and it's like she constantly keeps saying thank you, almost like it's a broken record. So are you gonna get her? How long is this gonna last?
I'm just gonna let her.
This is gonna go for maybe 20 minutes of this, just her breaking down and just all the pent up problems tumbling out.
I'm just gonna listen and.
So the barkeep he brings over the food and he just drops it on the table, and then he's looking at this happening and he just backs away. It's like, I'll let you have your privacy.
I just whisper over to him.
What did you whisper?
Thanks
Okay, so thanks.
for the food.
So
I just
So Drake kind of leaps off the table and he looks at the food and he kind of nudges it with his paw. Or leaps off her shoulder and onto the table and then kind of nudges it with his paw. And the food is just it's a basic soup in a bowl and it's got some meat in there, vegetables, the good combination of things.
I'm gonna give I'm
He's
gonna
kind of nudging it.
kind of get Olga to sit down a little bit.
Okay, so she's not letting go. so so you're just gonna have to. So you sit down in a chair, and she's sitting down with you, and she's like,
She's on me.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, she's not letting go for some reason.
Don't worry, I have 16 strength.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. I mean, like she's not letting go. So
16 strength, Jesus.
wait, he has what? Oh, he's 60 strength. No, your strength can only go
16.
up to 40. Sorry.
16.
So, no, 16 strength. So he has a decent amount of strength. So
I've been growing stronger.
okay, so that's all happening. Niltoar, you're also about in the same condition as you have not. Although you partook in food, it's been almost a whole day since you've had food, so you're also hungry. So,
Yes,
and there's going to be a surprise, because there obviously always is. So
Women.
So it's like you hear a voice in your head. It's like, are you just gonna sit there all day, or are you gonna get up?
I bet that's right.
So there's a voice in your head now. So
You know if it's Ryan.
no,
Roll
Rang
perception.
doesn't speak like that. Rang is very matter of fact.
Oh.
Okay, so you
Yes,
have
it
to
is.
roll perception. Do you remember who the voice is? Have you heard the voice? Do you recognize the voice?
I think I do.
Is it something you can
Out
understand?
of character.
So yes, it's you're pretty sure it's the voice of your sword in your head without you touching the sword.
Right.
It's speaking to me while I'm sleeping.
No, it's you're like mid awake. You're not quite awake, but now you hear a voice in your head saying, are you gonna sit there all day, or are you gonna get up? You haven't eaten or anything. I wouldn't want to get trapped here.
I guess I'm gonna wake up and look talking.
Okay, so look around. That's also perception. That's okay. So this is just trying to figure out. Okay, why is this happening? Okay, so you look at all the normal stuff, like is my hand on the sword? Your hand's not on the sword. Is it breaking the sheath in any way? And so on and so forth. But it's like it should be in the sword. So touch the sword. That's also, I guess that's also perception. Is that a 20 also? No, that's a 10. So you're looking around, it's like, nothing says that you should hear this voice. So you touch the sword and you feel the presence in the sword, and it should, the presence should be in the sword. So why is it in your head? You're just trying to figure out, it's like, okay, how is this possible?
What's going on? What's happening?
So, and she explains
hear you.
telepathy. I could have just talked in your head anytime I wanted.
Oh. Why didn't you do that from the start then?
It's like, I don't know. I just wanted to see if well, it's like desperate times. I'm not going to do this often. Your mind is kind of full of things that I don't want to care about. See? It's like, I'll put it bluntly. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you do.
Well, yeah, no offense taken, but Because I don't think I'm probably gonna take something to eat. But I'm over from starvation.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, well, here's to trying to not get you killed. Because if you are lost, then I'm not going anywhere. I'll be strapped to a dead man for the rest of my days. So what do you do? I mean, like, that's the reason for waking you up, is like, she doesn't want to be trapped somewhere because you decided to die.
I'm just gonna wake up and go down to the bar.
So,
Get something to eat.
alright, so...
Also, as this is still going
Yeah,
on.
so pretty much, Spicoli's sitting in a chair, Olga's sitting on top of Spicoli, and she doesn't look like she's, like... It could be also, as it's actually rolled out, so I don't know if how much you know about hermits. Like, well, Spicoli knows a lot about hermits, he's been one for a long time. So, the only thing you could really think up is, you know, she hasn't been with anybody in a very long time, and she doesn't actually, she's not subtle anymore. I mean, as a hermit, you don't have to care about what people think because you're in the middle of nowhere. What do you care? So you're getting the feeling she doesn't know how to understand people anymore. Doesn't know how to show gratitude, doesn't know how to talk with decency. She just says it as it is.
It's a little hard for me, but
Before you go any further, as I come down from the stairs, I'm gonna shout out to bad with names, Olga, and ask her how. Scream out from the stairs. Hey Olga, how's your dog that I saved?
Okay, it's like, he's fine, I think. And so,
Christ,
like, he's over there, like, as she says that, the bar keeps bringing him something, the dog something to eat, and he goes to town on him. Like, he doesn't even wait for it to get to the table. He's, like, leaping on the plate as he's carrying it, nearly dropping the food on the table, and then he has to, like, the barkeep has to move faster in order to prevent it from getting all over the floor.
I'm
And he's looking at that, it's like, whoa, easy, pup. I know you... Whoa, easy.
I'm pressing Olga's head as she sobs.
So... That pretty much... I mean, if you're trying to comfort her, you're not doing a very good job, because that's just releasing more... I know it's... But you're supposed to let it out. That's the normal thing, but, yeah. You're just giving her more reason to just let the frustration out.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so just little gestures, little motions. Okay, Niltoar, what's your so this whole scene's playing out. Are you writing any of this down by chance? Or is it
I'm interested in what the druid and what is Olga actually?
She is the name for the species is Anthromal is, I think, what it was. That's what the custom race is called. It's basically a creature that's part... it's basically an animal that can stand on two legs. That's what Anthromal is. That's what the race was called. At least that's the race that made that sounded the least crazy.
Does she look
So
like
she is specifically a worgen. So she's a half-wolf.
Does she look anything like a humanoid female?
She does look like a humanoid female. She could stand on two legs, and she has... But the thing that's different is that, you know, she's a worgen. She's covered in fur. She has sharp claws on both hands and feet. She can run on all fours. She has she has pretty good climbing skills. You know, just things that normal humans wouldn't have.
I mean, I'd try that.
Okay. Anyway, back on to...
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but still. Niltoar. We're on Niltoar right now, so... So, it's like, I can see through your eyes, by the way. So this is Niltoar, that's in your head. It's like, I can see through your eyes, by the way. It's like, you know, is this all of the land like this? Where, you know, people are, their minds are destroyed and they're, you know, so like she's trying to put words to it, but, you know, she's not human. She doesn't even know what human emotions are. You know, she's just asking, are all people like this?
Not everyone, but so far
Excuse me
a
for
lot
a
of
second,
a
I
lot
gotta
of
take
them
this
seems to
call.
No, it's like, well, not my concern. You better get fed before you decide to keel over.
be that I'm gonna go up to the barkeep and order some food and ask him actually.
Did he... Oops, wrong one. Okay, so the amount of food is enough to fill at least for a couple. Let me actually roll for days. So at least a week, the town will be fed. So
Sorry about
food
that, I had to
supply.
take
Okay.
I had to take a call real quick.
Okay. So you've provided at least a week's worth of food for the town, but again, it's a temporary solution. It's although you have a week's worth of food, it's still got to worry about being able to produce enough food in the future.
I'm gonna ask if anyone has leftover seeds, and if they do, replant them in the area.
Okay, so this is that's a matter of knowledge, which is the person who's supposed to be spreading that knowledge is Thorin, because Thorin is the one who has the compendium, which is the book of basic knowledge for. It's the thing. It's the reason Isha's father and Tukri's husband was assassinated, was because he made a book that would help the rebellion. Or at least that's the reason that Kep gave us, was he was assassinated because his book would mean that the rebellion would have a fresh start. I mean, you gave them basic profession knowledge, you gave them basic farming knowledge, all the knowledge they need to survive.
Before Thorin went out, were we able to get that from him? Should we roll that?
He didn't go anywhere, so he's still
He
there.
said he went hunted, though.
Oh yeah, he went hunting. Okay, so
Were we able to get that
let's
from
see
him
if he was.
beforehand?
He was smart enough to actually pass that knowledge along, because Thorin, who was the only one to get a copy of that book, had enough knowledge to actually pass a copy of that on. So now the Admiral has it, and he's going to do his best to disseminate the knowledge among everyone else, but it's going to take some time. This isn't just stuff that you can learn immediately. Although it's a crash course guide, it's still, the education takes time. A couple days, maybe weeks, in order for more and more people to know how to do things. Okay. Second problem, printing. How many, Ural has to rewrite this by hand, which could take days. So definitely let me add that to the major quest then.
And y'all got a printing press?
So, yeah, that's just it. It's like technology is not very common out here, so you need to find a method to replicate the compendium that, maybe make technology, maybe something magical, some other way to do it. So that's another major quest that you have to do.
Magic paper.
Or find a way to, make something that writes itself, I don't know. Well, that's for you guys to decide. Okay, so
Maybe if we
Niltoar.
had, some sort of duplication spell.
Yeah, but Niltoar was still on you. It's you're still standing in the same spot. Your sword who you have not asked the name of keeps telling you to go eat something.
Ask its name multiple times till it gives it up.
He didn't ask, period.
I'm gonna order some food from the bar.
Yeah, so it's so you go straight for the bar and you order some food, and he has food, but it's he has to go get more stock because this is the most customers he's had in a long time. And you can tell, yesterday everyone was not as cheerful, but today, everyone is almost ecstatic. There's a lot of conversation. There's people are talking. People don't look as distraught. Just everything seems to be looking up.
Well, I'm not gonna play because I'm hungover.
Yep, and you're hungover, so. Actually, roll Constitution. Are you hungover? Because it's been almost 18 hours. So, a good portion of the day. So, you are not hungover. You've had plenty of time to rest and get rid of the hangover. So, you wake up refreshed.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
As the barkeep goes back to get more stock, I'm gonna let him ask the son. Oh yeah. What's his name? I never asked you. And you never told me.
What, the sword?
Yeah.
Okay, so just out of willy-nilly, you're sitting at a bar, it's like, so what's your name? And so, good question. Let's see. I do not have any extra tab. I have to open a sub-tab, because if I open a main tab, it'll show that on the screen, and then the recording will be ruined. There's actually a site I use for this. I'm gonna definitely... so many names. I already have that name used. That sounds about right. Let's see if the game agrees. Okay, well, your sword's name is Malice. So it's like I know it's an ironic name. I wasn't given the name. That's just what my previous owner named me, and it's stuck ever since. Okay, so her name is Malice. What do you do about that?
It's a nice name.
Okay, so it's like, why do I get the feeling you're lying?
I'm not.
Okay, so it's like, are you sure that you're not lying?
I think that I'm sober, so...
Okay, so it's like, all right, so like you could tell she doesn't believe you. Like part of it, like, and remember, she can also peer into your mind a little bit. Well, maybe not. I think it's just telepathy. So she doesn't quite know what's going on in your head, and she doesn't know like what's up. It's like and if you haven't noticed, I only cooperate the most during battle. When I know that it's not so much for you, it's because my life is at risk. If I don't do anything to keep you alive, I'll be dropped on some battlefield somewhere, and likely be taken by some other person I won't like. Or worse, be trampled there, and I'll never see the light of day ever again.
I'm the lesser of the two evil.
Okay.
Basically.
It's like evil is a matter of perspective, but yes, most people call me evil.
Is Niltoar sitting next to me?
I'm her lesser of the two evil. She's stuck with me, so well.
It's like, you don't have to be. You could have just tossed me away any time, but I'm still here, aren't I?
Niltoar, what are you doing?
So yeah, it's you're talking to your sword, and nobody else can hear the voice in your head. So Spicoli's asking, "What are you doing?"
Talking to that.
Talking to yourself, right?
Or
maybe you should take and she thinks that, maybe you should take this conversation somewhere else, because it seems they think you're crazy.
No. Do I remember the sword being crazy after, like, holding my hand on it?
You do remember the sword is crazy. You don't know if he's talking to the sword right now.
Can I ask that? Because I have
like,
knowledge that the sword is able to do things.
You could ask him that.
Are you talking to your sword?
Oh, since I'm not holding it, so...
Okay.
Can you answer honestly?
No, he's not going. That is his, can you tell if that's an honest answer? That's perception.
Insight.
Oh, insight, yeah. So you roll insight, you see, can you tell if that answer is honest or not? You have to roll above a 15. He's really good at deceiving you. So yeah, he's really good at deceiving you. It's like, no, I'm just talking to myself. Just, almost casually. He doesn't even... Like, it doesn't sound like it sounds like he's telling you exactly what he's doing.
Okay, whatever, and I go back to taking care of Olga.
He's kind of shrug.
After I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna ask the barkeep for some supplies for myself.
For what?
The spell, basically. That.
So it's like, so you just say a random thing, it's like, so you're saying this miniature, you're saying just these random things, and it's like, well, I don't have any of that, sorry.
I don't know where I can find it.
Okay, so it's like not here, so it's like, check near the port. There's a couple traders and some unsavory folk over there. But, you've proved your worth, so maybe they might not harm you, or maybe they will. Who knows? But it's a high probability that you'll find what you need over there.
I'm gonna thank him and pay him.
Okay,
how much did it would cost?
So I don't know. Just you can throw whatever money on the table. He said,
Yes,
or it's let's see, what does he think? It's like, no, this one's on the house. It's just your friend already paid in advance.
Oh,
And he points
I
at Spicoli because he already gave him the gold.
the one
Wave.
from the
Wave.
one gold from before.
Huh?
The one gold from like yesterday, something like that.
Yeah, he paid 1 gold yesterday because he did it out of generosity, and so now he's counting that towards the tab today. So you know the meal's on the meal's kinda like on the house, but it's more of he paid in advance.
I paid for bed
Yeah.
and breakfast.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
And I say says that like, and well, saying grab my food and well leave for the port.
Okay,
How's
so,
Olga looking out?
lot better. I mean, she's done. She's starting to slowly get out of her mental breakdown. Drake is like trying to nudge her out of it. Like she's after he pretty much devoured the plate of food on the table, and he's looking at Olga with concern, and then he's like tapping her with his nose.
I'm gonna slowly put Olga in her own chair.
Okay, so you're not gonna do anything to stop you. I mean, like you just pick her up, and she's just kind of sitting there, just very drained.
I'm just gonna scoot over and say, "You okay there?"
Yeah, so
You
she
got
doesn't
that
say
out?
anything. That's because her head lolls over to the side, and you can tell that she's asleep.
I think I have a jacket on me or something.
So
I'm just gonna. put
Drake
it
is
around
like
her.
looking at you with concern. It's like, are you gonna do anything about that? And just kind of.
I'll watch
And
it.
he just does a weird dog point where he's pointing to like where the rooms are. He's pretty smart for a dog, so.
Yes, in a minute, Drake. Let me finish my food.
Okay, so
I pet him.
yeah, and he kind of like butts you with his head, like he kind of butts you like on the arm with his head, saying, you need to do this now, not later. Like he
Okay,
does
fine.
that. And he's hitting his head on your hand, and then he's like pointing up to where the rooms are, and then looking back at Olga, and then he just keeps doing that while you're eating.
I say fine. I just stop eating. I'll bring my food up in a second. Actually, yeah. I'm gonna grab Olga, carry her up to.
So he
my
gets
room.
on like on her front because she's at an angle because you're carrying her.
I'm just gonna. I don't know if she has room or not, so I'm just gonna take her to my room
Okay, so
and lay her on my
Where's that?
bed. I have no idea. You did not give me a specific area.
well, you were kind of slammed right there, so
Yeah. I'll just bring her there.
so she's there. She's knocked out.
I'll just sit by here and wait.
Why wait? It's a little creepy.
Because I have nothing better to do.
Okay,
Also,
so
I'm
since
just
you have
gonna-
nothing better to do, are you sure you don't have anything better to do? There's a lot of things to do.
I already did my best.
I don't know. There's other things like, I don't know, wandering the town, figuring out where everything is. That would be nice.
I want to take a break today.
Okay,
Today's my
so not
day
doing
off.
anything. All right, cool. So,
I just want a
so-
relaxing day because I just spent 17 to 16 hours creating
yeah,
a
just
farm.
well, you spent all
Right.
that time gathering the people together into a frenzy, going to the place, making a flat area, praising the sun, having it grow, and then knocking yourself out at that point. So,
I need a
do?
relaxing day.
all right, so that's what you're gonna do. Then we go back to Niltoar. Niltoar, you're approaching the port, and it does look a little seedy, but at the same time, it looks inviting. Like it looks like stands. A lot of the stands are unmanned because there's not a lot of merchants left. But the ones that are manned, you see like there's a combination of exotic goods, so it looks like a marketplace near the port. But the one thing that dominates the landscape is you see a giant galleon near the edge of the port, like near the end. And the only way to get on is on the other side of the port, so you have to actually cross that way, across the water, and onto the other side of the port. Or if there's another way for you to get on. So what do you do at that point? You're at this somewhat looking marketplace.
I guess I'm gonna ask the first the vendor see for
Okay, so-
these ingredients.
So you're going to
Where
browse
can go
around. You have to roll perception to see if... well, it's persuasion. Persuasion if you're talking to someone. Perception if you're just looking.
I'm gonna ask him.
So that's persuasion then. So you're talking to people. Okay. So you're talking to people, and they're pointing you deeper down. Like they're basically pointing you to the ship because that seems like the direction you need to go in.
Okay. How far out is the ship?
It's right there. You see the giant sails ship
Yeah,
in the...
but in feet, basically. About how far away?
Oh, in feet? Good 50 feet or so.
So that I'm just gonna use dimension door and tell them.
That's lazy. You can just walk there. It's like 50 feet.
Okay, I thought it was out in the water.
No, it's not out in the water, unless you want to get on the boat, which I wouldn't
No,
advise. So walking
Oh,
near
no.
the edge. Alright, so as you're walking along, you see two people sitting on a crate that stand out compared to the rest. So you see kind of this, I don't know, you'll have to just see. You see kind of a small person and a larger bull-like thing. And one's sitting on a crate, the other one's just standing. And then the bull is kind of like, I'm just like, no, I bet you the adventurers don't know we're here. And I also bet you those adventurers aren't going to give a damn to actually come this way and talk to us. And so he just kind of points his head in the direction. She turns around, and there you are. So
Yep.
it's like, oh, wow. So and she pulls out a gold coin and she offers it, and then the bull man just you can tell he's got a smirk on his face, and he takes the gold coin. It's like, remind me not to bet against what you believe. It's like, so who are you?
Greetings, I am Niltoar, the magnificent bard.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Bow very deeply. Basically, my loot almost falling out on my back.
Yeah, it's like, well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, so you can cast a few magic tricks, sing a couple tunes, and maybe make some random invisible things serve you food, but I don't think you're that magnificent. And so,
Did they say anything about the
like,
druid?
the giant bull just kind of nudges her on the back. It's like, It's like, all right, decency, fine. You know, you're worse than my mom. It's like, all right, so it's like, hi, I'm Stella, captain of this ship over there, and she points at the galleon across the way. It's like, this is my crew member, Garrus. He doesn't say much because he doesn't have a tongue.
That's unfortunate.
It's like, yeah, he did. Well, I mean, it's his own problem. I mean, he could have had it replaced several times over, but he chooses to be a mute most of his life. And so, he does another nudge, and it's like, all right. It's because he doesn't want to pay for another extension. I mean, you know how hard it is to have a tongue reattached so you can talk again?
Not really, I don't have that experience.
It's like, he didn't want to go through the procedure. I don't think he likes doctors. So it's like, so what brings you to this side of the port? I mean, not many people travel to this end, especially not, whatever you are.
Hey, he still has the tongue. I can reattach it.
Okay, so... No, he doesn't. He
You
doesn't
don't know
have the
that.
tongue, so...
You
Well,
don't know that.
It was lost, yeah, and you don't know if he has the tongue, so... And you're not here yet, so anyway, so Niltoar... He says, yeah,
I know.
what are you doing here?
Well, I'm gonna, I'd blatantly say I'm looking for, these things, and I pull out the paper, basically.
Okay, the list of things. It's like, oh, let's see. And so it's like, she looking through it. No. Well, I won't know if I actually have this yet. And then she leans over, it's like, Parser, bring the ship around. And so you see... Hold on, I gotta bring the fourth.
By
So
the way,
roll perception, because this is quite a distance you have to look across the harbor.
while he does that, how long is Elga passed out?
She's gonna be passed out for quite a while. I mean, she didn't do... Remember, she went straight from battle to, like, the next day. And...
Can I estimate how long it's gonna be?
Sure. Just roll a d9. So that's a standard sleep cycle, so how long is she gonna be knocked out? Oof. So
I'm just gonna
she
go
just went
around
through a lot
town.
of emotional baggage, so 7 hours seems reasonable.
I'm just gonna go around town for 7 hours and then come back.
Okay, so she shouts that. You have to roll perception, and then
Get
let's
that.
see. You did challenge, so you see other, like, you see her crew members, you know, they're also don't look very human. So you see a strange woman up top, like, the strange woman leans out from the top, and then the person, I guess, who she referred to as Parser is, over there. And she's like, so she's already issuing orders, and you see that the ship is starting to get rid of its anchor and start getting rid of its anything it's tied to, and is starting to sail towards this direction. She does a pretty good job, and in fact, she does it very smoothly.
And what direction I was to some the mission started.
Okay, so the ship is going to arrive like right in front of you. So.
Okay.
So, and then she drops. She tells them to drop anchor again, which is basically crew members who are picking the anchor out by a chain. They're like dragging it's like 8 of them dragging the chain up to get the anchor up, and then you just see the 8 of them just grab the anchor again and throw it back down. So, and so she's leaning casually against the running boards on the ship. And she's like, well, who's this? It's like, this is Niltoar. He's, what'd you say you were, a bard? He's a bard?
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't that mean he's supposed to be able to fly? It's like, he's a bard, not a bird. It's like, oh, what's a bard?
Yes. It's
like he sings and dances and things. That's what you do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, now pull out my lute.
It's like, oh, instruments. Okay. So, and she she taps the boards, and you see like underneath there's a couple cannons. It's like, those are my instruments. I prefer those to yours. Okay, so introductions aside, now what?
I'm gonna shout to her, I guess. Hey, do you have these these
Okay,
supplies?
so
on
do you
board?
have these items?
User joined your channel.
Okay, that would be... Hey, it's there.
It's
Yeah,
alright.
actually his internet got fixed.
Ta-da!